All right, welcome to Ranting and Raving. It's obviously the off season, so I won't be doing any Saints content, or at least not much, until like there's actual stuff to talk about. So I'm going to go with another passion of mine, video games. And as you can see from the title of the video, I'm going to talk about one of, I guess, within at least for the people that are in the know on it, one of the more controversial things that's happened recently in gaming, which is the shutdown of Destiny 2. Sony purchased Bungie, the makers of Halo, um, about 2.5, 3 years ago. Been a lot of reports that have come out around that, kind of a lot of inflating of value and spinning up of side projects and a lot of stuff from people in leadership so that they could cash out. Um, the unfortunate thing is a lot of reports at the time said that there was a significant chunk of that purchase value was supposed to go to retaining staff so that Sony could get a return on their investment. And instead, um, Bungie's leadership decided to move major pieces of the staff over to incubation projects, which then led to lower quality releases and tough development decisions that eventually alienated them further from the community, and not going in the direction that they really should have probably gone into, which I'm going to touch on in a second. Um, but that kind of created the death spiral. Um, and then they laid people off multiple times. So they further exacerbated the issue they created by making bad decisions in the first place, which then led to Sony. Basically, the deal was if Bungie maintained a certain level of performance, that Sony would have an ownership stake in them, but it would essentially be just financial, and Bungie would run itself. And they ran themselves into the ground because of greed and incompetence, and from leadership, not from the development team. They've consistently made one of the best, most iconic games in all of the gaming industry for more than a decade. Whether you like it or not, a different question. And whether you think at different points it was peak or not, the reality is that no game has the combination of balance, power fantasy, movement, gunplay, um, PvE, PvP. Like, it is a unique game in the gaming space. And Sony has killed it. And they haven't just killed one game. They've killed two. They have. I will be, barring new information, I will be genuinely shocked if Marathon is still getting active support, and potentially if Bungie is still a real studio a year from now. And it's not just because they decided to go with the much smaller game with a much smaller fan base that's much more niche. Um, it's the whole timeline and the process. Marathon's a very good game. I'm not interested in it. I have absolutely zero interest in extraction shooters in general, and in particular, an intentionally sweaty extraction shooter. I play games for fun. It's not a get good issue. It's a don't be annoyed issue. I just don't find them fun. I'm not going to play it. There's a lot of people like me. The appeal of some of the other games in the genre that have had success recently is because they circumvented that loop. Arc Raiders is built entirely for casual players and had a massive PvE focus, and so it had a lot of success and appeal. And you know, a couple of other games similar. Marathon hasn't had that. You're sold around 1 million copies. I mean, it costs $40. It's not free to play, and there's nothing wrong with that as a model, but it doesn't have mass appeal. I don't expect it to ever hit 200,000, 300,000 concurrent players, or even total players per day. We'll see. So that kind of brings us to the whole point of the video. What should Bungie do? Again, this is all conjecture. This is not necessarily Sony will do this. In fact, I think a lot of gaming fans forget, um, Sony is not a gaming company. They're a business. They have a gaming division. It's not even their largest division. A lot of their decisions tell you that. A lot of how they run things tells you that. Sony fucks up a lot. I fully expect Sony to fuck up here. I think they've already fucked up. Um, even if you think Destiny 2 needed to be discontinued, going from a level of support to zero support, especially the way that they've done it, where you already had content and stuff that was in development, was probably very close to going gold, and you just pull the cable. You don't tell your staff, like, that's leaving money on the table. People paid for that. People would pay for that. You would have made non-zero dollars. You would have made money off of exotics and engrams, and you would have made off money off of cosmetics and in Eververse, and like you would have made more money than you're going to at not massively significant additional cost handling this smarter. But here's what they should do. I don't think they need to make a Destiny 3. And I'm going to make a clear distinction on what Destiny 3 is. The idea of Destiny 3, when a lot of players bring it up, is, new engine, new everything. They don't need to do that. The Tiger engine, which is their proprietary engine, which is notoriously difficult to develop in, but the Tiger engine is not the problem. Marathon is built on the exact same engine. Marathon is built on that engine with dedicated servers. And we're going to come back to that in a second. Marathon, everyone who has played it has all agree, as a game, just the raw, objective quality of the game is excellent. Destiny 2 is still a great game. As far as gameplay, mechanics feel like you're not having you pop a billion abilities out in PvE environments with tons of enemies on field, and you're not fraying the screen and hitting lag spikes and like those are issues with the engine. Oh, the engine's out of date. We have mechanical problems. Like there are bugs because you have a 10-year life cycle within a essentially unified instance with spaghetti code from constant patches and updates and changes, sure. And there's so many interdependencies. And then you have a P2P connection on top of that, which adds a whole different variable. Yeah, there's issues. You don't need a new engine. You just need a reset. And here's kind of my example for why I'm making this distinction. So, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which first of all was fucking phenomenal. The studio intentionally chose to stay on Unreal Engine 4 and not upgrade to 5. And Square was very open, but also very specific on why, because people asked. And it was like, in order to do that, we'd add 2 more years to the development time for this game. We already are very familiar with the engine, but it's deeper than that. We already have systems built. We already have assets built. We have sprites. We have character profiles. We have movement tech, mechanics. There's a ton of stuff on the back end, under the hood, that's already built. And we can take that and we can use that in the next game. And we can make a whole new game, and we can make it really good, and we can make it distinct and feel great and wonderful, and it is an evolution. But we have that foundation already established. That's the reason they didn't jump to Unreal Engine 5. They stayed on 4 because it allows them a much quicker development time. That's exactly what Bungie should be doing with Destiny 2. When you're looking at a 6-year time frame to make Destiny 3 and $300 million, like Jason Schreier and some of the other people that report on the game have brought up, it's with the idea of we'd have to update the Tiger engine, we'd have to make all these changes, and we'd have to do all these things. Well, don't do that. Just make Destiny forever. The big thing is, take the existing assets, take the supers, take the abilities, take the gunplay, take all the core mechanics, take as much of what currently exists as is. Change 2 things. Go from P2P to dedicated servers, which you've already done with Marathon. So you've literally already worked out the kinks of, with the Tiger engine and with your code base. By the way, some of the guns in Marathon are basically Destiny guns, and that's very intentional. Look, we have some of the best feeling gunplay in games. Let's just copy paste this over. I know it's not an actual copy paste. The point being, you already have these things. So you're not starting at zero. Now you're not starting 85% of the way done, but you're starting with a lot of the hardest stuff to do already figured out. Now you just need to tweak those things to work within the new space you're making. And what you do is you do a reset. You do a whole new game. You release it as a separate game. You pay for that game. Full price, $70. It's fine. Games are more expensive. You make it $70. Guess what? A lot of people will pay that, but it's a whole new game with a complete, full, totally robust campaign. You figure out how we're going to do the story. How do we get from 2 to Destiny Forever or whatever the hell you want to call it? But from a development standpoint, you build it on the existing version of the Tiger engine with P2P servers, basically off of here's what we learned and did with Marathon. And Marathon is a really good. It doesn't have mass appeal, but it's very good. Let's take that and add it to the thing that does have mass appeal. That is still a huge IP with a lot of potential. But let's massively shrink that development time because we have assets and we have systems and we have components that we can reuse or re-architect into the new game, but make it a fully new game. And then you can make a choice. There's two paths. Path one, first of all, I think you should bring back Luke Smith if he's available and willing. I think Luke Smith is one of the people who genuinely, truly understood the player base and what they wanted. And he should be very much towards the top in a decision-making role. And only people who truly, genuinely understand why this game appealed to so many people should be in those decision-making spots. Sony should fire basically the entire executive team. They've done a terrible job. They've done a terrible job for a long time. They've cost Sony a ton of money. They've wasted a ton of Sony's money. They've made enough money, kick them out. But in doing that, pick a path. You're either an MMO. Destiny can continue to be a live service game. Make it an MMO. Give it a subscription. Have a free-to-play version where basically you have access to the baseline of PvP and like 2 out of 8 destinations, and like you can go on patrol and you can have fun and you can do some basic things and you get access to like Gambit and Crucible and like that's it. And you can have fun PvP and you can have fun on those things and you can play with your friends. And if you want to play this game, you pay $8 a month. And maybe you work out a deal with Xbox, like, hey, we're going to include this on Game Pass. Like, Game Pass players just get the subscription. They don't get the DLCs and the other stuff, but they get the subscription. They don't have to pay a subscription as long as they have Game Pass. We're just going to include it in. Microsoft would probably write you that money because Microsoft would get a lot of subscribers for that. You can do the same thing with PS Plus. Like, there's an economic model there to use. One is live service. Keep it as a live service game. Or go back to the original plan with Activision. Now, you don't have to go like we have a completely new game every year, but basically copy the release schedule that Final Fantasy XIV does. You take the subscription part out of it because it's an MMO, but make a true, robust, big campaign. Not a 12-hour campaign, a 30-hour campaign. Not 8 missions, 15 missions. Big story, big stuff, big things, lots to do, but you don't release every year. You release every 18 to 24 months, and then you do every 9 months, every 6 to 9 months, you do something like Into the Light. You do a reasonable thing with a new activity and some new cosmetics and some new stuff. You can do tons of stuff in Eververse. You can still continue to make money off of that. Hey, guess what? Fashion is the end game in video games. That's totally fine. It's ubiquitous. It's normal. Some people are mad about it. I don't care. Studios need to make money. They need to pay bills. That's fine. But figure out your release structure. Have intentionality. But that's it. Those are the two things you change. Either go MMO or go like every 18 to 24 months release schedule. Don't split it kind of in the middle between the two because economically, like it just doesn't work. That was part of their problem. It also creates a ton of crunch and creates a lot more volatility in the quality of releases, which then erodes your player base. So like that's a problem too. Pick one. Pick one either way. The point is the IP still has a tremendous following. The IP still has tremendous value. The IP still has meat on the bone. And Sony, you wrote a $3 billion check. You cashed out all the executives. They already screwed you and they already screwed the employees. They made their money. They got their shares. They're out. You already wrote the check. You might as well get something out of it. One other thing Sony should absolutely do, you should start licensing this IP. It has a not only does it have a really interesting universe, has a very interesting world, but it has a big fan base, and that fan base could actually grow. You know what was really, really, really popular and made another studio a crap ton of money? Arcane. And Arcane was super expensive to produce because of the quality and the animation style and what they did. And good God, was it amazing! You could do an anime for Destiny. Here, I'll give you a freebie. Do the Warlords timeline with the Iron Lords. Saladin, Felwinter, Ephrodite, go through the cast. Most importantly, Lord Shaxx. I'm not even joking on that. Lord Shaxx thunder punching people's heads off and just being an all around hilarious Mad Max insano dipshit in the absolute best of ways will break the internet. Like, that's an anime character everybody wants to see. Saint 14, not like the lovable pigeon loving version we have, but the one, the fallen, the Elixni, called the Demon. The one who held the whole frickin' pass all on his own. Their goddamn boogeyman. Baba Yaga with a big ass helmet. Let's tell that story. Let's show, like, these are perfectly made for the anime medium. You don't want live action. It would be terrible for live action. Some things don't translate to live action well, but it's beautiful for anime. License it. Sell it to someone. Make some fucking money. Write some books. Bungie did it with Halo. It worked. Make some fucking money. Why are you murdering the IP? Why don't you like money? But again, like, that rant aside, just to wrap this up, do I think they're going to do this? No, because Sony are idiots. But the correct way to handle this is not to make Destiny 3. It's to take everything you've built with Destiny 2, which is built on the exact same engine as Marathon, which everybody agrees is a great game. Take the best parts of Marathon from a technical standpoint. Take the IP of Destiny, make a new Destiny game, release it in 36 months, 2.5 to 3 years. Announce it soon, but just go, hey, it's not going to take 6 years. It'll take 3 because we have so much already done. We'll do mild support between now and then just to make a little extra money. Like, we'll do some cosmetics and a few cheap events. But for the most part, all of our development is going to be on Marathon and on Destiny Forever, Destiny 2, Destiny Infinite, whatever the you want to call it. I prefer Forever to Infinite, but it doesn't matter. Like, the point is, you don't need Destiny 3. You need Destiny 2. It's a great game. It still works. It's just too big. So take the best parts of the game, the sandbox, the character designs, the assets, the engine, the feel, all the parts that are awesome. Stick it in a new game and start over, but you're not starting at zero. You're starting 50, 60, 70% of the way done on some things. And you're not starting over at zero as a concept either. Like, you know where you're going to go. You know where you're going to start. You can set the expectation. Players can start powerful ish and become gods, like just like we are now. You can double down on all of that. You don't need to balance PvE that way. Like, have you seen the Diablo games? The whole point is to get to endgame and get stupid strong and one click the entire room. That's the pursuit. That's what I'm chasing. I want to double Nova Bomb the room. I want a Consecration Titan the room. I played 50, 100, 1,000, 10,000 hours for the right to smoke this room. And then you put a few pieces of high-end, top-end endgame content for the players that just absolutely want to hate themselves in the most wonderful, beautiful of ways, called raids. Because you make better raids than anybody out there. But do that. That's the smart thing to do. That's where the money is. That's what possibly doesn't kill Marathon. But it's also like you're not pissing off the fans. Because at a certain point, when Sony's reputation becomes all they do is close studios and kill games, that's not going to help your bottom line on other stuff too. You're already struggling to sell. It's already a bad economy. Maybe do what is smart. So that's one random dude who knows a little bit about a little bit, but not a lot about a lot of it. And when it comes to game design, that's one random guy's opinion. What do I know? Well, more than Bungie's executives apparently. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Do the usual YouTube thing, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Helps more people see the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it and put your thoughts in the comments.